Hello. Wow. Yeah, I was just having some technical craziness going on here. Welcome to day 9 of Live for Life Satisfaction. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Viv, your deep life satisfaction and happiness strategist, helping all of you game changers wake up with vibrant passion, live with purpose, and sleep with peace. It's so nice to have you here. I can't believe we're already on day 9, and I'm so excited. Today, we're going to talk about the first key to a 3 keys workshop that I used to do that was called 3 Keys for Success. And really, it's the 3 essential keys to set you up for success. There are actually more things that you need to do, but these are absolutely essential. And I can't wait to share them with you. I also wanted to tell you, so today we're going to be, by the way, covering key number 1, and then the next day 2, and the next day 3. I did want to mention, though, that as I had talked about in the previous lives about my career evolution and the things that I'm doing right now. So transitioning from supporting, people that I for the last 10 years I was supporting, well, 10 plus years I was supporting people who were coming from really dark place in their life through trauma, who had trauma and needed healing, right? And so my channel, this YouTube channel, Viv PhD, has been dedicated to a lot of that and a lot of those solutions, a lot of EMDR and self EMDR. And so I was thinking, now that I've transitioned in the last few years to starting to support people who are more on the, I want to say, who have healed and are ready for the next step, right? So my husband kind of used this analogy today when I was discussing this with him, and he said, it's like what I was doing before was really supporting people. If you have a scale of like how you are emotionally doing from 0 to negative 100. I was supporting people from 0 to negative 100, right? And then in supporting them, I wanted to help bring them out of that darkness and those dark places to a place where, well, hopefully they were feeling really great, but in doing so, that journey, it was going from, deep down in the gutter, that's the way I used to feel anyways, to doing okay and maybe starting to thrive a little, right? And as I supported dozens and then later hundreds of individuals like that, I started to focus myself on the positive end of psychology, right? So there's positive psychology, which is actually not the same as the clinical psychology that we use to treat trauma. It's actually very different. And so I started to focus more on that and focus more on fulfillment and thriving. And how can I get people that are, either at 0 or at 10 or at 20 or at 30 to positive 100, right? And so that's really become my passion. Now, I still support people, in that area through my self-help courses like the self-help EMDR. However, I've decided to open up a new YouTube channel called Thrive Force with Viv PhD. And this is going to be exclusively dedicated for those who are ready for that next step, going from 0 or 10 or 20 or 30 to like 100, right? So, and it's going to be highlighting a lot of the technologies that I've learned and that I've used that employ some of the positive psychology methods and a lot of other wonderful things. And those are the things, a lot of those things I've also been talking about in these lives. So what I'm going to ask you to do to help support me in this transition, and also to make sure you get the content if you're interested in this content, is at the end of this to go over to the new YouTube channel. There's no videos there yet, but just click subscribe. I'm going to put the link in this description, and it's called, well, my handle is at Thrive Force Viv Thrive Force with Viv PhD, but I'm going to put it in the description. So if you could go over then click subscribe, it really helps me to unlock some of the features of the new channel so that I can do the most things for you that I can, like these lives, for example, So I'd really like to be able to go there and to deliver that content to the people who really want it most, while continuing to support people with EMDR, self EMDR on this channel. Okay, so the rest of these lives is going to be at a bit of a transition period, and at a certain point, we're going to like boom, launch off and jump on over to the other channel. Those of you who want to embark on that new journey, and so click subscribe and support if you can to help us make that transition in that journey. So without further ado, I'm going to just dive into it. So unlocking the key to achieving any goal, the first key. And this is really about believing in yourself and believing that you can achieve the goal that you want to. Let me tell you a story. So those of you who followed me through my journey, so 10 plus years ago, I was in a really dark place health-wise. So I suffered from a chronic debilitating condition called MCS, multiple chemical sensitivities. For those of you who don't know what that is, it is absolutely horrible. It is very difficult. You're allergic to like basically everything in your environment. Often comes with a lot of food sensitivities. And the end result is that you're really isolated and you can't actually live a normal life. So, I'm not going to get into the whole journey of how I got ill and blah, blah, blah. And I'm doing well now. I'm fine. And I can say that I'm cured. I've cured myself, thankfully. But that's another topic for other videos. What I just want to say is that when I was in that transition point, from the low point of being sick to like, okay, now I want to heal. Now I'm trying to heal. I'm trying to get better. And so I was at this point of like, okay, I'm trying to employ these strategies to heal. And also I was at the point of trying to start a business to help people. And at that time, I was interested in helping people, not just people with MCS, but people with trauma, and that was because that whole experience that I went through was really traumatic, because I went from being healthy, young, vibrant woman to someone who was incapacitated in bed and couldn't get out. That's also because I suffered from other conditions at that time as well, all kind of like together. So that was a really devastating blow because I was, 27, 8, and 9, I forget now, around the time. And so it was really difficult. And when I was making that transition, it was really hard for me to believe like, oh, I'm going to get better now, because my body was so debilitated. And when you're suffering with something and it's like, how can I possibly believe I'm going to get better? Right. And then the other thing too was like, okay, I wanted to do a business that I was helping people. And, I started retraining as a psychotherapist and whatnot. And I actually started as a hypnotherapist and I did that training. So I was able to get myself well enough to do the training. And then I was like, this was before virtual, by the way, this is before online. So I was like, how am I going to see clients? Like, I'm allergic to perfumes, this and that. I can barely go outside. I'm functioning fine if I'm in my home, but I can't have these people come to my home. Virtual didn't exist. So I was like, how am I going to do that? And like, practically speaking, I didn't see the way, but I knew that if I was going to achieve my goal, I had to believe that I could, right? That was the key thing. And I'm telling you, it is very hard to believe in something when it seems impossible. And this is exactly what I'm trying to teach today. When you have a goal and maybe it seems impossible, there's so much self-doubt, the only way to achieve it is to start with absolute certainty that you can do it. Okay, you don't know how, it seems impossible. I don't know I'm going to do it. This is very normal, right? And so I'm going to give you a trick. We talked about one of the tools yesterday, and in a few things was creating that compelling vision. And along with that, you can do a positive visualization every day, which I did do, but I've already talked about that. So I'm not going to talk about that today. I'm going to talk about a different trick. However, if you do want a guided positive visualization to help you really create that picture of your future goal, whatever it may be, in whatever area of your life, then just DM me, message me on Facebook or YouTube. You can drop in the comments guided visualization and I will make sure that gets to you. However, what I want to talk to you about is a hypnosis, a self-hypnosis trick. So as I mentioned, I started off as a hypnotherapist, and I loved hypnosis. My mother did not love that I went into hypnosis because she didn't kind of believe in it. She thought it was a little too woo-woo, and she's like, "Oh, Mr. Vivian, PhD, doctorate, going off to do woo-woo hypnosis." And I was like, "Well, Mom, there's actually kind of a lot of evidence. And if you look in the peer-reviewed medical literature, as I often do, there is a lot of evidence behind hypnosis. So it is actually a real thing and it works." Okay. And so I used to teach, obviously I did hypnosis, but I used to teach a lot of courses. And by the way, if you're interested in a mini course in hypnosis, message me and let me know, because I haven't done an online one, but if there's interest, I will. Sorry, sidebar. Uh, so so I used to teach a lot of that. And one very simple trick that I'm going to teach you how to kind of like, a hack to kind of hypnotize yourself is, it's to enter a suggestion to yourself, either when you're in a hypnopompic or hypnagogic state. And now I know you all know what those funny words mean, of course. So I'll explain. So the hypnopompic state is just the funniest word ever to describe the state that your brain is in, the brainwave state, just before you wake up. And it is analogous, it's very similar to a hypnotic state. It is a hypnotic state. And the hypnagogic state is when just not after you've fallen asleep, but just when you're falling asleep, right? So if you can take advantage, like this is your brain already going into a hypnotic state. So all you got to do is prepare your little suggestion, or no, sorry, your powerful suggestion. I mean, this is your goal. This is your life. This is something you need to achieve. This is something you might think is impossible, but you're going to make it possible, right? So, think about it and write it down in a positive frame. So not like, I don't want to fail, right? Like, no, I don't want, no, it's, I want, or, it's like, it's framed in the positive. So for example, I'm getting stronger and healing, or I'm already healed, my body is healed, if it's about healing, how it was, or my business, I have a thriving business, helping people, making a difference, or whatever your goal is, I'm living in that beautiful home that I envisioned, or I have that career that I envisioned, or I am a healthy, strong mother, or I am um, a healthy, strong father, whatever your goal, your dream or is right now, even if it feels impossible, just write it down, state it in the positive, right? Not what you don't want, but what you do want, and state it as if it's already happened, as if it's already a reality, okay? And so then just have that ready, maybe practice a few times so you don't forget it, and then shoot that off into your brain, when you're falling asleep, that suggestion. And as you practice it, get better at this, because it's a bit harder when you're waking up, you don't know what's going on. But if you can shoot it off also and repeat that to yourself when you're waking up, you're actually self-hypnotizing yourself. So I use this trick, and I also did self-hypnosis recordings, which like I said, I taught in my courses, along with the guided positive visualization. Of course, you don't have to have it guided, you can just create a positive visualization of your ideal future and your goal having succeeded. Just visualize it, make it bright, make it colorful, make it big, make it vivid, make it wow. Okay. The more you can do that, the better it will be, and go through it every day for 10 minutes, and just really, and I'm getting into the visualization trick. So I've given you 2 tools, but I've talked about the compelling future before. This is with a bit of a different application. It's visualization. So go ahead, use that one. It's fantastic. And also use the self-hypnosis, taking advantage of that positively stated suggestion in the it's already happened tense. Okay. And in the you can do either one, hypnagogic or hypnopompic, or you can do both. The more you do this, the better, especially if you feel a lot of self-doubt. then you got to just like triple whammy this and just put it in. And some people talk about affirmations. Tony Robbins talks about incantations, which are, he would never say they're affirmations, but they sound like affirmations, but you put them with a lot of energy, right? Like a lot of physical energy in the body. So all those things, whatever you need to do, those are the helpful tools and tricks to convince your mind to create that certainty. Because what you need, the first key to achieving success, is a belief in yourself that you can achieve that goal. Okay, that the goal can be achieved, and it can be achieved by you. Okay, so that is the certainty that you need to create. And these are some tools to help you do that, because I'd love to hear you succeed, and I'd love you to drop your goals, your affirmations, or not affirmations, but what you want to achieve in the chat, or if you have questions or comments or shares, anything, I would love to hear. So just drop that in the chat. And like I said, if you want any of those resources that I mentioned, drop those as well in the comments. And please go over, check the link out in the description, go over to the new YouTube channel, the what's it called again? Well, now they do these little handle things, so it's like YouTube at Viv. No, sorry, not that's the old one. At Thrive Force with Viv PhD. Okay, so I can't wait to see you there. I'm gonna be making a lot of good stuff for you, so hopefully you will catch it and share it and like it and follow it and become happier and happier and happier to live that life with deep satisfaction, okay? Where you can be a shining star as you are, okay? All right, I'm glad. This was so much fun today. I look forward to seeing you next time. So peace out.